The Athene Real Talk Podcast explores controversial ideas to stimulate debate and active thinking. These ideas do not always reflect Athene's personal views. Welcome to the Athene Real Talk Podcast.
He has been called the best gamer in the world, hands down.
World-famous gamer and philanthropist Athene.
Gaming for Good, it's called, has raised more than $20 million.
Using his notoriety to raise money for charity.
On activism, science, culture, and self-development.
Proud to have him in the studio today. I would not want to take you on in a video game.
Imeno Spian says, Athene, do you have a trick to fall asleep? Yes, I do have a trick to fall asleep. Make sure that a half an hour before you go to bed, don't do too much stuff. Also, don't eat before you go to bed. And don't drink too much refined sugar bullshit, no energy. And Nupep helps also a lot for falling asleep. I also have Headspace, so it's a little meditation that I do and then I fall asleep easy. I used to have more issues falling asleep, but lately, man, since Nupep, nothing. Another really cheat to fall asleep, and this really works for me really well. This is actually a really nice mind hack. Try to re-experience your dreams. I'm telling you, man, this is like best shortcut life hack for falling asleep. But don't do it intensive. Try to re-experience them the days before. And then you make connections, and before you know, you're gone. Because it stimulates the same parts of your brain that are responsible for falling asleep. Athene, will you go with a big bang when you die? Rafamen, 69. When I die, viewers will be sad. It will be news, of course, on the gaming news. People will talk. It will be reported on. And then after a week, everybody has forgot about it. The only ones that will carry on and really have a deep, sad thing is my parents, my family. But at the end of the day, I will just fade away. And that's exactly why I don't give a shit what people think about me now and after I die. I don't give a shit. What I care about is how my actions ripple and bring change. Even after I'm gone, they keep rippling and bringing change. That's what matters to me. But what people think about me, I don't give a shit about that. They won't even know. Who knows me? I think nobody knows me. Literally no one knows me. I know how my head is, that's it. If you think about Einstein or Gandhi or Jesus, you think you remember them the way they were? You just remember a story, an image. That's it. That's literally it. I don't care what people believe about me after I'm dead, because it won't be accurate anyway to start off it. And at the same time, who gives a shit? As long as my actions ripple, I'm all fine. That's why I put so much time and effort in making a difference. A lot of people are very fixated on what people will think. Certainly when they're older, their legacy and shit. Come on, son. Nobody ain't gonna give a shit about you. They ain't even giving a shit about you when you're alive, let alone when you're dead. People are so in their sight, their own head. Snuskongen says, you said earlier that you never treat yourself with something good like dinners at restaurants, etc. Why wouldn't you treat yourself with something good once in a while? Or even if you accomplish something good, like raising a lot of money for them kids, why wouldn't you treat yourself with a good dinner after that success to celebrate? Why would I? You know how I celebrate? I celebrate by feeling and experiencing fulfillment. And feeling like, I did this good. Now, to the next thing. That's how I celebrate. Peace of mind. That's how I celebrate. If you go and you treat yourself in a dinner restaurant, you eat unhealthy, you come outside, you have stomach pain, you're gonna have to sit on the toilet. People are so short-term memory. I just keep eating healthy every day, and I'd be able to celebrate and treat myself in the conventional terms and feeling better in my body much more than if I do it in the conditioned, indoctrinated way of, now you've been very responsible. Now you're allowed to be a little bit irresponsible. Fuck irresponsibility. I just am who I am, and I'm responsible all the way. Not just now and now and now and now. No, all the way. I don't know anything else. That's how I live my life. You guys want to treat yourself? Start eating healthy from today, and you will feel so much better than all the treats you get in the restaurant. You will have better shit. You will have better sharpness. You will be more successful. You will feel more healthy. You will be less sick. You will live longer. That's how you fucking treat yourself, by living the privileged life you have here, where you don't have to be worried what to eat and if you're gonna survive the end of the day. Live that fully. What about that one? I think that's a nice way to treat yourself, don't you think? When people think about those treat things, it's insane. It's psychopath behavior. Yeah, you know what? You really were a very nice boy. Now, you know what? You can make yourself live a little less longer. How do people think like that? I don't understand that. Silver Soul says, Athene, how can I start to think more structured? Your mind and your body go hand in hand. If your body is completely a wreck because you eat unhealthy, because you don't exercise, you deprive yourself from sleep, you're very irresponsible by the way you act, whether it's alcohol or smoking or whatever, your environment is shit, make sure that all those things are well in place and that instead of inhibiting you, they enhance you. And then just let yourself go and you will see you'll move forward by yourself. Because that's what you are. That's how you're designed. That's why we live right now and populate the entire planet. Treat your body very well and your mind will follow. That's my tip for you. Because if you're fucking around with your body and you're eating crap and all that shit, you can't even think straight. And that's stuff that everybody can do. If you don't care, even if you don't care about living longer, right? Let's say you don't care about living longer. Okay, fine. What about living more happy? Living with less problems? You care about that. Well, same applies to that. Sakub, so eating healthy, is there any good sides? My diet is fruit salad in the morning. At 2 I eat lentils with vegetables with olive oil and rice or pasta and a smoothie. Smoothie containing bananas, really ripe bananas. If they're not ripe, they're gonna fuck with you. Ripe bananas and whatever. You can choose what you put in there. And then again at 6 I eat the same thing. Lentils, they have to be brown lentils. They have to be cooked well. You have to let them soak for 1 day. Same thing at 6 o'clock, then with a smoothie. And at 10 o'clock I eat eggs with potatoes. And I eat that every day. Every day. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. I enjoy it. I eat it. Every day the same thing. Gamerfist, Athene, I'm lazy as fuck and don't care what I eat, drink. How do I motivate myself to eat healthy? Well, let me give you a good motivation. Eating healthy will allow you to be motivating yourself easier to do things you don't want to do. It breaks the pattern of not being motivated. Isn't that a great reason? It will allow you to more easily get out of your ass and do good stuff for yourself. So it breaks the circle of sitting on your lazy ass. Just eat healthy. It's so important. Eating healthy is so important. Exercising, the same thing. It's important. But now I really sound like some grandpappy when I say this shit. But honestly, for your mind is most important. You will be more competitive at games. You will be sharper. You will be better arguments. You will be better in bed. You will get easier laid. You will be more successful. Original Culot says, Athene, what life lessons have you learned and how have they helped you? My God, I've learned a lot of life lessons. My entire life is filled with life lessons. A few things that I've learned, very powerful life lessons, is to always shut the fuck up. Don't try to convince people. Be practical. That's one of the big life lessons I learned. Another life lesson that I learned is that people don't care about you. And that if you care about what other people think about you, that's already too meta and that's too much inside your head, because as much you don't care about others, they don't care about you. So caring about others is actually paradoxical within that framework. If you don't care about others, but you care about what others think about you. That's also something I've learned. I've learned also well that you don't do good to get anything in return. You do it unconditionally. And even if they shit on you, don't get mad at it. You do good because it's the right thing. Another life lesson that I have learned, life is not about money. Money is just a tool. All the materialistic things you have do not compete with what you already have. So don't take the shit you have for granted, because that's a much bigger treasure than anything you can get. That's a very important one. It's a very wise one as well. There is nothing that can come close in everything you could get that comes close to what you already have. And if you stop taking what you already have for granted, you'd feel more richer than anything you can get. It's in here. That's also a very wise lesson. And if you realize that right now, you'd feel so happy. Cat Guru says, Athene, sometimes you say life is simple, other times you say you don't. When do you make the distinction? When it comes to doing the right thing, life is fucking simple. But when it's about understanding the world and how things are and how reality is, things can be very complex and very hard to grasp. So when it comes about what you can do to do the right thing, it's very simple. Doing the right thing is very simple. Figuring out what it is can be much more complicated. When someone comes to me and says, like, Athene, what is doing the right thing? You know what I tell them? I tell them, you know what? You're asking yourself the wrong question. The question of what is the right thing doesn't even matter. If when you ask yourself the right question and the answer to that question is no, you don't even have to know what the right thing is. And the question is, would you do the right thing if you would know what the right thing is? Because if you say no, why do you even have to figure out what the right thing is? You wouldn't do it anyway. And that's the main question most of you guys have to answer. Would you do the right thing if you know what the right thing was? And how far would you go into that? Would you make sacrifices? Would you start eating more healthy? Would you start exercising? Prostate says, but I am, man. This fucking real talk changed a lot of things for me personally. I think doing the right thing is for each person differently, right? Even here in this setting, each person is doing something different. So practically, it depends from person to person. But doing the right thing is very easily defined. It is what can you do right now that has the biggest impact in the world. And sometimes, you can't even go as far as that. Because if you're in a situation where you are completely inhibited, then you have to first make sure you're financially independent. If you're doing a 9-to-5 job and you're going to pay bills, you're going to make sure you put yourself in a situation where you can have the biggest impact in the world. And you can start looking up, like for each person, you can figure it out, become financially independent, having the right mindset, making sure mind and body has a very good relationship. So therefore, start exercising, eating healthy, putting your mind in a better situation to make up what is best for the world. Starts with changing yourself, working out, eating healthy, sleeping enough, putting yourself in an environment that stimulates you, finding people with the right mindset. Prostate, I say, I love it so much, I want you to continue. Prostate, I'll tell you something. It is not something I just tell you. I tell this to everyone, to all people watching. There has been nothing in my life that I can remember right now that's been more satisfactory than doing real talk and seeing the results it has on the people that have been listening to it. And this comes from my deep heart. So unless something comes up that is even better, I ain't stopping real talk anytime soon. And that's exactly why I'd rather do real talk than playing Hearthstone and have tripled, quadrupled, maybe 10 times more views. Because even if I just help one of you guys to be better, that already was worth it. I want to talk to people, but I just don't give a shit about what they're talking about. Find them stupid and annoying, and I feel I would offend them if I were to reveal my true opinions and feelings. What should I do? I guess what you're saying is when you want to talk to people, you want to talk to people from a social interaction way. You want to be social, right? But at the same time, in social situations, you're not very pragmatic and you end up saying stuff that damages the social vibe. I guess that's what you're trying to say. Well, what should you do? You should learn how to deal and interact with people. And more importantly, you should find people that you feel very comfortable with. But sometimes, and that is a really sad thing, but it is a truth, sometimes you are the reason why you're lonely. Sometimes you are the reason why you are lonely, and even if you would find a version of yourself, you wouldn't be able to stand yourself. And if that is the case, then how do you expect other people to stand you? So working on that and making sure that you're not already the reason why you are lonely will take you very far. It will allow you to be more enjoyable to be around, and as a result, your social issues will be auto-corrected. It's a very important insight to have, by the way. But a lot of people have that issue. But looking in the mirror is the best thing you can do. Like when you're in league and you're losing a game, don't blame your teammates. Okay, sometimes they are the reason, but Yeah, the reason why you're stuck in a low hell or in social low hell is also because of yourself. And you have to work on your social skills. Nerkulek says, Athene, how do I learn to speak more confidentially? Because I think I'm quite intelligent, but when I talk with people, I can't express what I think. Please answer, Athene. Okay, so basically being well-spoken is something you learn. And what I mean with that is your brain has to make the connections to make you more well-spoken. It's not something you can just meditate on and boom, you're well-spoken. It's something that you learn through practice. What is more important about that, there's a communication with your consciousness and subconsciousness. There's constantly a feedback loop. If you do things that give you subconsciously a level of confidence, they will translate into a conscious level of subconscious, like posture, for example. Walking with posture, walking with your head straight. You can do that. You can just push yourself doing that. And as a result, you will start feeling more confident. So there's actually been studies about that. So that's a good thing you could do. Work on your posture, walk with a straight head, smile to people. Even if it's awkward, smile and keep doing that. Try that and you will start feeling more at ease. There's probably more things that you can do. Mr. Ostakis says, Athene, what is your advice to lazy people? Most of the time when you are lazy, it's not just you're lazy physically, you're also lazy. It starts here in your head, your laziness. So my best advice, since you are lazy, you obviously don't have the capacity to take yourself out of your laziness. You don't have the brain capacity to do so. And maybe you don't even have the brain capacity to do the advice I would tell you. But the advice that I will tell you allows you to get more control about your actions. And that is eating healthy, exercising, sleeping enough, putting yourself in the right environment, get rid of your dissonance. And there you go. Do that already. And you will already reduce a lot of your laziness. If you don't have the balls or you don't have the discipline to eat more healthy and exercise, find a wingman. Do it with someone else. Do it with a friend. Motivate each other. Find some trick. Because once you're outside of that comfort zone and once you get into a role, it will all come itself. That's my advice to you. Agrosi says, how would you convince someone to think egoless and rational about a situation? It's easy to get people to think a lot less ego-less. The way you do it is by conforming them, makes them feel comfortable. Because ego is a reaction. Some people don't know anything else than ego and it's not even worth starting. But if you want to talk to someone, dismantle their ego by really accepting them. Seek first to understand. Sometimes a good positive compliment can help. Just admire them. Put them on a pedestal. Be humble. Can help a lot to dismantle the ego. And think rational about the situation. Forget about it. If people are not rational, you basically have to not think, how do I get him to think rational? You have to think like, how do I get what I want by tricking him that it's the best for him to give what I want. And that's a different story. But rationality, forget about that. So especially if your relationship with that person is not very good and the person kind of looks down on you because they are older. Yeah, just forget about it. Just like I said, it is a waste of your time. If everyone is equal, why spend your time to one person that would be slow and a big hassle rather than just spend it on other people with more potential? It's because you're emotionally invested in that person. And that is your bad, not this person's bad. Because everybody's equal. If your time is spent better to other people, to talk to other people, do that instead. Don't be emotionally invested. That is my advice. Do not be emotionally invested. Not in beliefs, not in people. That's a sociopathic trait, Athene. Luminity. No, that's not a sociopathic trait. That is a pragmatic trait. A realist trait. I try to change people in my environment. And I learned it the hard way. If I could go back to my younger self, I would tell him, don't waste your fucking time, bro. It's not worth it. So I wouldn't call it sociopath. I would call it realistic. If there is a wall in front of you don't walk against it over and over again. You just go around the corner. That's what you do. Nogard is, Athene, what is your current goal? My goal is to do the best real talk I can do to see if there's more people like the guys here that want to come and help us out and make the world a better place. And at the same time, inspire you guys to be better.
Subscribe to youtube.com/AtheneWins. Watch the live stream at twitch.tv/AtheneLive and follow The Real Athene on Snapchat.